Anime rescue arcs are exciting events, and some of the best rescue arcs can be found in action-packed series like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and My Hero Academia. For some anime, there comes a point in the story where a character or multiple characters are captured or in imminent danger and are in need of rescue. Fortunately, a ragtag team is formed, and together they try to save those characters from their fate. And this is what's commonly known as a rescue arc. Rescue arcs can sometimes be an anime cast's defining moment, as they put it all on the line to try to save a friend/loved one with everything they've got. There are plenty of heart-pounding anime rescue arcs out there, and some can even go down in history as the anime's most substantial storyline. Number 10. Pretty much all of Part 3, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. During the third part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Jotaro Kujo's mother, Holy, is afflicted with a stand her body can't handle, and the only way to save her is to track down and destroy Dio. Jotaro and his grandfather, Joseph Joestar, assemble a small team of stand users and set out to finally put an end to the villainous vampire once and for all. Stardust Crusaders is not the usual kind of rescue mission, as it spans the course of JoJo's third act. Regardless, it does have all the right hallmarks of one, and unique stand user battles that would go on to define the series from then on out. Number 9. The Beetlejuice Arc, ReZero. Catching wind of an incoming attack on the Roswell Mansion and the nearby village from the witch cult, Subaru sets out to save everyone and finally prove himself, a task easier said than done. With so many new ways to die, Subaru ends up being pushed to his physical and mental limits. ReZero's third arc ends up being the first season's most intense, as Subaru is forced to find a way to save Amelia and the others with the odds stacked high against him. Not only does he have to find a team to take on the monstrous White Whale and the Sin Archbishop of Sloth, Beetlejuice, but has to conquer himself on his road to redemption, becoming a huge turning point for him. Number 8. The Tamers vs. the D-Reaper, Digimon Tamers. After returning from the digital world, the Tamers find out that they've brought back the nightmarish D-Reaper with them, and what's worse is that it's taken Jerry too. As the D-Reaper threatens to consume the entire world, the Tamers will have to use everything they have to destroy the monstrous entity and rescue Jerry from its clutches. The battle against the D-Reaper in Digimon Tamers is both a rescue arc and the climax of the season. With that being the case, the cast is pushed to the very brink as they grapple with themes of redemption, guilt, and acceptance, all the while the fate of the world rests in their hands. Number 7. The Tower of Heaven, Fairy Tail. Urza is forced to face her past as old friends come to take her to the Tower of Heaven, where they intend to sacrifice her for their ends. Team Natsu, of course, doesn't leave their own behind and stages a rescue to get Urza back and bring the tower down for good. Fairy Tail's Tower of Heaven arc has plenty of standout moments to cement it as one of the series' most memorable storylines, including the reveal of Urza's past, Juvia's first team-up with Fairy Tail, and the proper introduction of Jalal. This rescue mission has some really big action scenes to boot, especially from Natsu and Urza herself. Number 6. Mob vs. Claw, Mob Psycho 100. After his brother Ritsu and the other psychic kids are kidnapped by the Esper organization, Claw, Mob, Hanazawa, and Dimple go to raid their base and get them back. Despite Mob's reservations to fight, nothing will stop him from rescuing his brother. This arc sees Mob directly taking on Claw for the first time, and for the most part, wiping the floor with them. Despite the serious stakes, this rescue arc has Mob Psycho 100's signature laugh-out-loud humor, especially when Reigen gets into the mix and shows Claw's 7th Division a good reality check. Number 5. Farewell Shinsengumi Arc, Gintama. Nobunobu wasted no time flexing his authority as the new shogun, as he disbanded the Shinsengumi and sentenced both Kodu and Matsudaira to death. Not letting this stand, the remnants of the Shinsengumi decide to band together along with Gintoki and the gang to rescue their allies before they're executed. The Farewell Shinsengumi arc is a well-paced and serious story arc that goes on to change the series' direction in unexpected ways, a much more serious tone than what Gintama's comedic reputation would have most believe, but one that makes all the episodes before it worth it. Number 4. Hideout Raid Arc, My Hero Academia. With Bakugo in the clutches of the League of Villains, Deku and a few of his classmates from Class 1A mount a rescue as the League's hideout is being attacked by the pro heroes. They get even more than they bargained for, though, as the villainous All for One finally reveals himself. My Hero Academia's Hideout Raid arc is famous for a few reasons. One being the rescue of Bakugo itself, which is both clever and gorgeously animated. The other is for the fight between All Might and All for One that ends with the epic United States of Smash. While it's only 5 episodes long, it's spent well and is one of the anime's finest hours. Number 3. Enies Lobby, One Piece. While Nico Robin has given herself up to CP9 and the Marines, Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hat crew aren't keen to leave anyone, let alone one of their own, behind. Together, the Straw Hats raid the judicial island of Enies Lobby and declare war on the Marines for the sake of their friend. One Piece has actually had a number of rescue arcs over the course of its long run, and all of them are memorable, but Enies Lobby stands out for adding Frankie to the crew, revealing Robin's past, and all the new techniques the Straw Hats debuted, such as Luffy's gear forms. Intense, emotional, and full of action, Enies Lobby is remembered fondly by fans for all the right reasons. Number 2. The Soul Society arc, Bleach. After the Soul Society arrests Rukia, they plan to execute her for giving Ichigo his powers. Ichigo, however, doesn't sit idly by and gathers his toughest friends from Karakura Town and enters the Soul Society to get her back, fighting tons of Soul Reapers along the way. The Soul Society arc is possibly Bleach's very best, and on top of delivering on the action, it also introduced tons of new fan-favorite characters, a new main villain in the form of Aizen, and expanded the series' world in a way that could never be matched after it. Ichigo's mission to save Rukia changed the course of Bleach's story, plain and simple. Number 1. The Sasuke Retrieval arc, Naruto. Frustrated at the crossroad before him, Sasuke decides to walk down a darker path in order to achieve his revenge, abandoning Konoha in the process. To get his friend back before it's too late, Naruto assembles a team of his fellow ninja and take on the Sound Five, but Sasuke isn't willing to go back without a fight. Naruto's Sasuke Retrieval arc is the climax of the original series, before moving on to Shippuden, with tons of standout battles that became iconic anime fights with the entire recovery team. But of course, the big showstopper was Naruto's intense fight with Sasuke. While the rescue mission ends as a failure, it was a huge turning point for the series and set the bar for Naruto's story arcs after.